when we're children and we have that walk along the beach, there's that moment of delight when you find a seashell. When you find that seashell and you put it to your ear and you hear that sound. When you gather those seashells and they've travelled around the world, what adventures has that seashell been on? If you pick that shell up and you could actually hear it speak, what would it say? If you could climb into a seashell and go on a travel around the world and around all these stories, where would you go? That is what inspired this artwork.
I'm dying to see what it looks like outdoors, I have to say, because it's a piece that has to work outside, and outdoors you work on a different scale. And it's designed to sit in a landscape and hold its own. So yes, it's the size of a house, but you know, houses sit in landscapes quite nicely.
When we put out the commission, we had lots of artists that applied, but the commission from Susie and Steve really stood out as having the wow factor.
Well, once we got the commission and we took some time to calm down because we were so excited and delighted to have won it, it was really thinking about, well, how on earth are we going to make this happen? Because the challenge was to make an artwork that was a travelling storytelling space, but that also would seat up to 30 children, figuring out how we would get across the stories, and all the research began. There was a lot of research, a lot of fun in that research. We were talking walking along beaches, going to museums.
So we looked at lots of different ways of doing shells. There was a technical thing, which was about having a solid, stable base, because we had to build this with safety in mind. And so it's a freestanding piece that's not attached to the floor. On the quayside in Whitby, amongst some lobster pots, after a fruitless day searching for shells on Robin Hood's Bay. And then that became the actual shell that we based it on. But those the spiral forms that we were looking at, we found some beautiful ones washed up in India, and went, that's what we want.
One of the things in our MPO application was to try and reach people who wouldn't necessarily come into libraries. It might be that they've not been in for a long time and they don't know what libraries offer today, and this was really a chance for us to take out something really artistic and cultural and exciting to people who might not experience that day to day. So it was just a new way of being able to go out and about and talk to people about what we do and, you know, give people a really great experience.
So it was really wonderful to be able to meet children in a school and to meet teenagers in their settings and go into their spaces was really important to us. And to find out from young people particularly what stories mean to them today. And that age range was really important, from the young people right the way through to the 18-year-olds, because obviously got a huge reading range there, or experience of stories. So understanding what a story meant, understanding how a story and encountering a story and characters and stories made those young people feel is what we wanted to capture here.
But they were very much part of how it shaped the whole piece and how we were going to use the piece, and getting a feel for that use, getting a feel for the idea of stories and how they're constructed. So it was an insight into the world of stories and where stories come from.
So now we have the story shell, we're really excited to be able to take it out and about. And we want to pop up in community centres, in estates around the borough, in parks and gardens, and just be on people's doorsteps really, so that people can come and see it and experience something really different.